Well, hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life. I have another campground tour I want to take you on. This one is FDR State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia. This is a pretty place. Well, hi, Jerry here, and we're at FDR State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Joan and I love this campground. We came here almost 5 years ago. As a matter of fact, we called this our shakedown tour when we first got our fifth wheel, and we've never been back. It is a beautiful, beautiful campground. It's not far from the Alabama border, about the central part of the state, but far, far due west, right outside of Columbus, Georgia, kind of in that general area. So much to do here. You have Callaway Gardens. I have that video. I'll put that up in the top. You may have seen it. If not, click on this card and you can see our tour of Callaway Gardens. Then you really come here for the hiking. Great trails, everything from, you know, a couple miles to many, many miles if you want to be able to do that. And just gorgeous Pine Mountain. I will show you a couple vistas and a few other things of the area just to show you how really pretty this place is. Now you'll see our camping space that's behind us. I'll be kind of slow here, but I'll give you a bigger tour of this area. One of the things that we love so much about this park is how spacious it is. There is so much room in a number of these camping areas. And the other thing that you have here too is it's a typical state park. You have electric, you have 30 in some sites, you have 50 amps in some sites, you have water, but you have no sewer. But they do have 2 dump stations that are nearby that are very spacious. It is big rig friendly in a number of areas, and in some of the areas it is not big rig friendly. I'll show you those as well. So if you have a smaller camper pop up, 20 to 30 foot, there's some spaces for that. We're 40 foot. I've even seen some 40 foot Class A's in here, and there's some spots. It's a little tight. You have to be careful as you maneuver around, but enough of that. Let's look at the campground. I think you're going to like this. So here's our camping space. You see the big gray Wonder over there, and then 40 feet. This is a pull-through. It's one of the other nice things about this campground. They do have pull-throughs, but it is almost as though it is private. I'll turn the camera back around here in just a second, just show you that. And then not far, you'll see off in the distance there are bathhouses. Are very, very nice if you want to take advantage of those. But let's look at this. Here's a different angle of this pull-through, and when I talk about it being private, you'll notice, you know, there's no one around me. I've got a view of the woods, a fire pit. They have concrete picnic tables. That's not unusual for state parks. But the space is really fantastic. And I'll show you my closest neighbor. Now, even though the space is empty, and this is Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this place is going to get really full. But across the way, there's no one. And then I would say maybe a good, I don't know, 300 feet, 400 feet away is my closest neighbor. So you really do have a ton of privacy. And it's very, very quiet. This is just a great place to come and chill out. Let's walk around and I'll show you some things. Well, I want to share this pull through with you. This one we have a lot of fond memories. 5 years ago, here I'll put a picture up. This was our first campground we ever stayed in 5 years ago with the fifth wheel. It was our maiden voyage. The fifth wheel was only a couple weeks old, and here we came. And oh, this was just gorgeous. Look at that. You've got a little creek that's down there. And then there's, if you look in the distance, is our closest neighbor in that direction. And then if you look across over here, there's our next neighbor. So private, so nice, down in the bottom part of the park. If you're interested in this one, well, this one is 509. And again, it is one pretty space. You see a little bit of everything in FDR, and that's one of the reasons I love this park so much. That you see everything from the big Class A's to the fifth wheels to folks who just love to camp
in a tent.
In a tent with their babies, and they enjoy that. We've even got one that's hiding over there. Are y'all having fun?
Yeah.
Yes, I know you are. There they are. So beautiful campgrounds, lots of space, and y'all are having a great time with your rock, aren't you? And then you've always got to have a place for the kiddos to come out and just burn some energy. And you see my little buddies that I met from down at the tent area a minute ago. One of the things that you'll find here is plenty of places for the kids to come and enjoy, and that always makes it a lot of fun. and it's really close within walking distance to many of the campgrounds. Really, really fun. Bye, I'll see you later. This is a handicap space. And while all these others are gravel and so forth, they pave these for handicap access. And look how nice this is. So if you fit that criteria, you have that. And everything is very accessible for your water and your power, and nice paved flat area. And they even have wheelchair accessible picnic tables. Have you seen that? And then you're literally steps from the bathhouse if you need to take advantage of that. And I'll just show you this because I think this is very unique. And we just don't see this in a lot of places. But one of your handicap spaces. Nice, huh? So in Georgia, you'll see a trading post, or you'll see a camping store. They call this a trading post. You get the necessary items like ice and soft drinks, and there's a payphone over here if your cell phone's not working. And you can see you can get bait here as well. And if nothing more, you can just sit out on the porch and enjoy it. Okay, here's what you've been wanting to see. I know, you've waited long enough. We're gonna walk down here and I'm gonna show you the Lakeview lots. The thing about these sites, some are kind of small. It's not unusual to see a lot of tents, but you'll see pop-ups in the smaller units here. And wildlife is everywhere. See Mr. Squirrel playing. But I want to show you a couple of these Lakeview. Now this one's small. Pop-up friendly, maybe a 20-foot R-pod, something like that. But look at this view, folks. All right, you ready? Let's all say it at the same time. Wow, that's some kind of pretty. Look at that. Behind that building up there, if you'll notice that kind of a hilly area, that's actually the dam. But what I wanted to show you about this, they call this a group shelter. It's hard to call it a group shelter, but a huge, huge grilling area. It's probably locked and we're not going to be able to get inside of it. Big enclosed area. So let's say you wanted to do something like a family reunion, or you wanted to do a camper meetup or a camper club. You could rent this facility for some of your meetings. And then they have fire pits and picnic tables and tons of parking. There's another picnic shelter that you see over in the distance. Several actually, picnic tables everywhere. And it looks like this has just been upgraded. It looks brand new, probably waiting for the concrete to dry, but there's another kids playground area. This is the amphitheater. If you'll notice, all the seats are cut out of logs. Kind of neat. And there's your entertainment space. And I guess they have electrical hookup for mics and things like that, I see. Neat. And if you're a performer, there's the group. Yay. Well, this is a big campground. I've been covering probably about an hour's worth of walking. I'm on the other side of the lake. This is the activity center, boat rentals and so forth. And I'll show you what they have here. I think this is only open on weekends, spring and fall. Summer they have longer hours. Check the website for that. But I'll show you some of the fun things that you can utilize while you're here. It's kind of neat. Picnic tables all over the place. And then there's all kinds of things you can rent here. You've got these paddle pontoon boats. We'll walk down there. And they'll hold, it looks like 4 people. 2 pedaling. It's kind of neat. And then they have canoe and kayak rentals as well that you can see off here in the distance. Here's a view of some of the cabins that are here. I'm not going to show you all these. That one is I guess you'd call that faux log, fake log, but it's got the big screened-in porch overlooking the deck. And then these little quaint log cabins. They've got quite a few of these about. can see several of these. They're kind of fun. This is one. Again, I can't go inside of them. They're locked up. Yes, they have air conditioning. And they got all kinds of different sizes. I'm just showing you the Lakeview ones. When you check in, I just want you to see this beautiful building that you check in at. And we'll walk inside and I'll show it to you. But I also wanted to show you this. And this gives some history here of the park. It's 9,000 acres, called the Pine Mountain Ridge. And this was actually built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in 1938. And this is a pretty place. I showed you earlier the guest cottages that were located on the campground side. These are 4 guest cottages that are located directly behind the registration area. These are all stone based, and you've got to see these things. I wish I could go inside of them. These are incredible. I want you to see this. And just the absolutely beautiful stonework that exists. And they've got 2 big fireplaces in them. And this is number 1. You want to mark this one down if you want to stay in one of these. This is the number 1. And you sit out on the back of this deck. And that is the absolutely stupendous view that you have of this absolutely gorgeous area. That is your view off the back of your deck. Is that incredible? Oh my gosh. This is just absolutely beautiful. Let's take that in for a minute. Wow. Just wow. I'm currently at Dowdell's Knob. Dowdell's Knob was named after 2 brothers who settled this area in I think it was like the late 1830s. But the interesting thing about this was President Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of his favorite places to come and picnic. And when I turn the camera around, you're going to see why. It's said that President Roosevelt picnicked here 41 times, both as a private citizen and also as a president of the United States. And it is just absolutely something. It's a bit windy up here on the knob, but there's a bronze statue dedicated to FDR. And this would be where he would sit. And this is his view. Let's go down here and get a close-up of this. And it's really windy up here on the knob. You can just see this stunning view. I'm going to do a long pan here. I'm also going to throw some pictures up here on the end because it's just, some of the close-ups are stunning. Look at this. Wow. I think we're at 1,300 feet. Beautiful. We're back to the campground, and oh, we're going to hate to leave. I just love this place. It's a beautiful spring day, and we've got these big spacious areas, and Lake Delanor right down there that I showed you earlier. And the cabins, if you're not a camper and you want to do the cabins, it's a great place to come. Beautiful, beautiful campground. How about Pine Mountain Ridge? You're at 1,300 feet, and those views down in the valley from Dowdell's Knob is gorgeous. 11 miles from here is the Little White House, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's. I think it was like a summer place, and it's also where he came to Warm Springs, to where he did rehabilitation. And it's just really a beautiful place. We didn't do any film there, but I did take some pictures. Here's Joan and I out front, and we went down into the museum. You see his car. He's also famous for starting the REA program, which brought electricity into the rural area. Very, very interesting. And then you can tour the home as well. And here's several shots as we just walked around. We even got to go into his bedroom and those types of things, living space, library, etc. I hope you get the chance to come here. And Joan and I do this just for one reason. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we both love RV life.